Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I have my little person. Exactly. Hey my boy, got my little person next to me, so if you hear somebody talking, just know that I'm with the best friend. Okay, anyway, I need to send a trigger warning. If you've just experienced any loss, or you are pregnant and you're about to give birth, and all of that, I would suggest that maybe you don't watch this video because it could be a trigger. Because today, in everything that I'll be discussing, I'll be touching a whole lot on the loss that I went through a couple of years ago, and so if you feel like a subject of child loss, and yeah, if you think that would trigger you, please don't watch. If you're pregnant, please don't watch. If you're about to give birth, especially if you're about to give birth, please don't watch. I wouldn't want to instill fear in you that will disturb or just take away the peace in your whole pregnancy journey and in your giving birth journey and all of that. Anyway, now that we got that out of the way, it was in 2017 and it was 3 days, I think, 3 to 5, no, probably, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 days. And look, everything from that year is a blur. So it was just a couple of days after I had buried my first son. My husband was going back to work and my mom had to go to a church conference, and so somehow they thought there's no way that I can be left alone in the house after what I had just gone through. Usually my kids are the ones that go with my mom to the conference and I stay behind, but this time around it was like, no, it's not going to happen. So I took the trip with my mom and my girls from Johannesburg to Mpumalanga in Bushbuckridge. We drove, and somehow I was quiet. I didn't say much, but I wasn't crying, and I think I had music. I was playing music, which for everyone was normal because I love music. So if I was playing music, it showed a bit of light, but I don't know what really was going on. And I think I wasn't eating much, to be honest with you, during that period, because my son wasn't able to eat, and somehow I felt so guilty that I thought it was my fault, because somehow the doctors made me carry that burden, telling me that it was my fault. And so I felt like it was my fault that he wasn't eating. So if he wasn't eating, why was I allowed to eat? So I think I'd stopped eating altogether. I struggled. I mean, my family tried so hard. My aunts, they tried to make me eat, but I wasn't really eating. But as we were driving, when we got to the petrol station, I somehow bought like a cappuccino. I don't even know if I drank that cappuccino. Guys, the thing is, I was in limbo. I don't know if that's the right word to use. I was neither here or there. I was literally floating. I didn't know what was happening, and I don't think anyone really noticed that I was just floating. I somehow told, I don't know what happened in here, but I stopped thinking about the loss, and I somehow tried to forget it. I hope you can hear me over my son. Okay, so there's a lot of flash right now. I had to put on the TV so I can distract my little man. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I don't think I knew what was going on at the time. I don't think I even remembered what my mind, my body, my soul, my spirit, everything had gone through. I was literally just floating. I was floating through it. But like when we were about 20 minutes away from our destination, out of nowhere I started sobbing. Now guys, my two little girls were behind. We're in the car and they were sitting behind in the car. Rufuma was about 4 and Basani was 8. you know. And I never cried in front of them because I never really wanted them to feel like they had a responsibility to somehow calm me down, or you know, like I just never did. I didn't want to burden them with it. Whatever it is that I was going through, trust me, I never cried in front of them. I am really sorry for the different kinds of lights. That's the way I can do this. That's the only way I can do this. And so I started crying, which really just alarmed my mom, because she was like, did you, because I was holding my phone before all of that, and I think I was trying to text something because I was trying to figure out what was going on with me. Because what had happened before I started crying was that I had an out of body experience. I suddenly, because what happened is that, you know how it is, right? When your baby's born, before if they even cut the cord, I think they will give you the baby, and then, you know, for the skin to skin, right? I remember I put him inside the gown I was wearing. I put him inside there, and I just felt he was so warm. He was so warm, and I could like smell that, you know, fresh from the womb scent from him, which is, I love that scent, you know, it's just so beautiful. And at that moment, I like honestly, I'm saying it was like an out of body experience, because I could feel it. I could feel the warmth on my chest, and I could feel him like on my chest, and I could literally smell the out of fresh out of womb smell. Like I could while I was in the car as we were driving. And so I started getting confused, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is this a dream? What happened? And then I text my husband, who's at work, by the way. But to me right now, I'm just super confused, because if I send him a message at work, I'm disturbing him. He's trying to, you know, he's doing his bit to try and, you know, process, and I'm just sending him these messages trying to figure out what's going on. Because I remember, I'm like, was this a dream? You know, was this a dream? I feel like I think I remember that I feel like I was in such a bad dream where I gave birth to this beautiful little boy, because it really felt so surreal. It felt like it was a dream, because I was just in, I was neither here or there. You know, I was just hanging. I was just floating. And I was like, you know, did this really happen? Did I just give birth? And then the baby passed away, and then I buried them? Did this really happen? Was it a dream? And then it hit me afterwards that no, it was not a dream. It happened. And that's when I started sobbing. And everyone, you know, not everyone, basically my mom was like, so, you know, she was driving, and I think we were going through corners, so she didn't even know what to do. She's trying to grab me, she can't even stop where we were. She was like, you know, I can't even stop, because it wasn't like in the bushes, and she just didn't know what to do. And I remember she was trying to drive, you know, get us to where we're going safely, but she was trying to calm me down as well. The reason why I started by giving you this story, it was just to give you context that from that time, I was neither here or there. I was just floating. I was not, like, reality it was not really there for me. And so when I got back, and it was like 3 weeks after, and life had to go on, mom had to go back to work, and it was just me and the girls. I was the one responsible for taking them to school, and so I would walk them to school in the mornings. In the mornings their father would drop them off as he went to work, and I would walk and go get them every day because the school was literally a stone throw away. You know, it wasn't far. I mean, I could hear, yes, you know, you had to walk like an uphill, but I could hear the kids from the school, like the school, they were our neighbors basically, you know. And so I remember just telling my husband, telling my mom that, you know what, please, because I could somehow feel that I'm floating. You know, I told them, please remind me when it's time to fetch the kids, and they would. you know, at 1:30 or around 22 to 2, they would remind me that, hey, it's time now to fetch the kids. And guys, I would literally just be watching Grey's Anatomy. I think maybe that's why I love it so much, because it got me through some stuff. I would watch Grey's Anatomy the entire day and then wait until the last minute, because I really didn't want to get out of bed, and then run to the school to go get the girls. Reformer was in the, so you know, this school is huge. It's from like 0 to like high school. I think at the time they didn't even have a high school. It was still just the primary school. Well, this is the old school. And I would run and go to the crash side, get Reformer, who was like 4 years old, and then go to the primary school side and get Reformer, Basani. But what I didn't notice was that every single day I wore the same pants. Guys, these pants, got them, I don't know where I got them from. They were like joggers, you know, I think that's what you call them, joggers. And they were even animal print. I'm not really big on animal print. They were like brown with a beige, and then a jersey that I wore was like a jersey that my mom had given me. It was purple, and it like has eyes like on the chest area. I wore the very same outfit, the same pants and the same jersey, and if I did change, it was some black skinny jeans. So I think on this day that I felt fancy, I wore those black skinny jeans. I don't think I baths much, to be honest with you. I didn't. I probably did when it was time to go to church, which also took quite a bit. I didn't immediately go back to church, because I knew that it would be hard for me to be at church. Here in Joburg, we go to Rhema. It is a huge church, and so I didn't go to church. And so every day, guys, I would go and fetch. Like, I really don't know what the teachers at the school thought. I mean, why? Now when I think about it, I actually called my mom and I was like, why did the school not call anyone, emergency contact? My mom is there. Why didn't they call her to say, you know what, your daughter is wearing the same packs? I literally, for 3 months straight, from like August to September till about October, and I think I stopped around October because now it was getting a little bit hot, and it was like, okay, maybe I should start wearing shorts. But I don't remember taking baths much. I remember just waking up, because I was in this, I was in the biggest, I don't know, I was in this weird space where I was literally a robot who would wake up and just, I think we did takeaways a lot, because I didn't have energy to do anything. I was literally a person who just sat on in the room with my computer. I never left my room at all, like always in bed in my room. And I was, when I had to run to get to school, I would wear the same pants, I would wear the same jersey, literally for 3 months. And nobody actually noticed. And I would chat to people at the school somehow, and I would smile with people, and nobody ever said, no man, this lady wears the same pants every day, like, what's going on? Can we, who should we talk to? And they knew what I had been through. They knew what I had gone through. I mean, I used to go to the school pregnant before that, and so after that I had to let them know that, hey, this is what happened, and look out for my kids, and look out for any weird behaviors after that. Nobody said anything. But afterwards, I remember, like, maybe a year after that, December was a great year. I'm gonna share a video of what really got me out of a rut. I'm gonna share that video tomorrow. But the following year, from that year, I think my husband always said he hated those pants. Like, and I didn't get it, and somehow I didn't even listen to him. He said, I don't like these pants. I wore them anyway, and I don't know why, because I carried on. I wasn't wearing them every day, but I wore them a lot. Somehow I just wore them a lot. And he kept on saying that he hated those pants, and I think I carried on wearing them till 2019. Then I got a bit larger, and I couldn't fit into them anymore. But somehow it only hit me earlier this year that, oh my gosh, this is when I was working through, I was working out through a lot of things, and I remembered that, you know, that period I hardly bathed. I hardly bathed, and then I remembered that, you know, I wore the same purple jersey and brown joggers every day, every single day without fail. I just wore those pants, and then I understood why he detested those pants. Like, it just hit me, you know. And I remember I packed them. They're in the garage right now. I literally packed them away and I put them in the garage. But you know, I'm sharing this story just to remind everyone how important therapy is. I didn't go through grief counseling. I did not go through grief counseling at all, like at all. And I somehow just went into the real world again, and I couldn't handle it. So I was just this, sheesh, I don't even know how to explain it. I was just this floater, just floating through life. I mean, I'll give you another example. I've shared this before, like probably 2 years ago, but there was a time where during that time where I was literally floating, I was sitting in my room, right, in my blankets, probably in my pants, my brown pants and my purple jersey, and immediately, somehow, a thought came into my head. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I think I left something. I was like, I left something downstairs. And I was like, no, I really left something downstairs. I need to run downstairs and get whatever it is that I left. And so I was like, what is it? And then I was like, oh, I left my baby. My baby's downstairs. And then, you know, I literally just, oh my gosh, how could I do that? I jump out of bed and I ran. And it wasn't until I was halfway down the stairs that it hit me that, hey, you did not leave your baby downstairs. You know, you buried him, you know. I think I just fell down on those stairs and I sobbed. And mind you, at this time I am alone. You know, kids are gone to school, husband is at work, you know, my mom, and you know, is far away because we live in 2 different provinces. I literally sobbed. I sobbed so hard, and so I was, you know, it was a day when I kept on hearing a baby cry. I think this time around I did call family because I kept on hearing a baby cry, and didn't I look? I went through. This was the same period I looked through the wardrobe, I looked under the bed, and I think this shows you that I somehow was losing my mind. I was somehow losing my mind, and I looked under the chairs, I looked everywhere because I kept on hearing a baby cry, and after I looked everywhere, I thought, okay, I think I'm going crazy. It wasn't like, it took forever, and it wasn't until like around 4 that I opened the window and I realized that the lady that worked in the unit that was like across us where we lived at the time had brought her newborn to work, and somehow I thought that was it. I had lost it because I felt like the baby was in the room and it was mine, and I had to look everywhere and underneath everywhere. And so another thing that I also wanted to say to you is that if there are people around you that have gone through something like that, sometimes they don't have their loved ones close to them that are able to spot such things. I mean, I wish the people at the school would have spotted all of those behaviors. I was always late to fetch the kids, and I was in the same, like, guys, like I don't think it's normal for someone to wear the same pants like for like month after month after month, you know. If you're out there and you see, like, do something, you know, reach out and somehow call someone and say, hey, you know, we see this person, she's doing this behavior doesn't seem normal, can you get them some help? Because sometimes, you know, that's the only help that they can get. And yeah, so that's the story I wanted to share. That's how I ended up wearing the same pants for 3 months. And you know, I now when I sit down and I realize, I see the importance of therapy, and how if I had gone through therapy, you know, and talked things out. I think, you know, even the therapist would see the state that I was in, and also it would help me digest or process reality even not faster, but in a more healthier way than just being, guys, sheesh, I ended up just being this person that was always locked up in their room, like literally always locked up in their room. I wasn't a mom, I wasn't a wife, I wasn't even a me. I was just a floater. I was just a floater. So yeah, go to therapy, do grief therapy. It doesn't matter what kind of grief you're going through, even if it's not of a person. Whatever it is, make sure that you work through it and get professional help. Anyway, join me tomorrow as I share how I somehow got myself out of that rut and started being a more present person for myself, for the rest of my family. Thank you so much for joining me. I will check you out tomorrow. Also, I know I said that if it's not happy, then I will not share it, but I like to share things when I feel like I'm ready, and this time I felt like I'm ready. I was able to go through this today and share it without crying. That's because today I felt like I was ready to do that. Most of the times when I think about it, I will crawl still, you know, I will crawl and I will, days are different, and today I felt like I could do it, and that's why I did it. And yeah, I said if it's not happy, I'm not sharing it, but I felt like sharing this today, and yeah, so I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.